Hi, everybody. So today, I want to talk about exactly what the title says. How I quit smoking weed for 6 months and how it's affected me so far. Back in October is when I stopped smoking, and at that time, I was going through a job change, and I had put my actually 1 week in at my job, and I had quit, and because of the stress around that and other things going on in my life, I had a mental breakdown a little bit, and that resulted in me going to the hospital eventually. But before I did that, I had stopped smoking weed, I think in the middle of October. And then I went to the hospital and got back in treatment, and I'm doing a lot better now. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about how I've been feeling. I've noticed a big change in how I handle stress now. With smoking weed, I had just put everything off to the side. I didn't want to think about anything that was stressing me out. Technically I am still doing that now, but I'm able to approach things better, and I can actually bring my mind to a logical conclusion instead of going to these crazy, irrational thoughts. Because I think I was slipping into like another psychotic state. So I'm going to back up for a second. I started smoking weed when I was 24, and that was before I started my whole mental health journey. And I was a very chronic heavy user, and there were times where I would stop smoking for like a period of months and then start smoking again, stop smoking for a week, start smoking again, on and off. And then eventually I just got to where I was using every day. And I think that led to me pushing back traumas and current stressors at the time, and it was adversely affecting my mental health. And when I was 26, I ended up having my first manic episode, which landed me in the mental hospital, because I was doing odd behavior. I was having psychotic delusions and hallucinations and all that good stuff. So I think smoking played a huge part in that. And I think I was going down that path just as recently as 6 months ago, because I had started smoking weed again in the very beginning of 2023, back in April. And yeah. So the decision to quit was hard because at the time I still did enjoy smoking, but I knew for my mental health it was the best thing for me. I think cannabis, marijuana, whatever, can be a useful tool for a lot of people. Um, but for someone who has one, an avoidant personality type, two, who can slip into psychosis, and three, has issues with paranoia. Sorry. I think it was important for me to not do that anymore. So, yeah. Um, but anyway, sorry about that little interruption. Anyway, so to get on to how I'm feeling now, excuse me. Um, right now, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm feeling more motivated and way less tired. I was very tired when I smoked weed. I took many naps, and if you watched my streams before this, you know how I would talk about how tired I was all the time, how I would take naps constantly, and that's because weed just knocks me out, man. It knocks me out, and I can't do anything. And when you're smoking constantly, just to get by mentally, you can't get anything done during the day. So I was just not cleaning, not making my bed, which is made right now. I was not taking care of myself, like in terms of exercising and stuff, and eating right and shit like that. But I mean, honestly, I'm not doing great with that right now because I've been stressed out, but I'll maybe talk about that some other time. But overall, within the last, I didn't notice a change right away when I stopped smoking. It took a while to get to this point, to where I'm feeling good. It really did take a while. Like, probably about 3 months to really feel that energy come back, and the motivation to do things for myself come back. I yeah, it was an interesting experience, feeling like I could do something for me again. But sorry, I'm saying filler words a lot. I What am I trying to say right now? It's been hard recently because my boyfriend still smokes. I do not smoke, but my boyfriend still smokes. And I've had the temptation to partake, but I have not. I just I've had the urge though. Even today, I was watching a video about someone talking about how they quit smoking marijuana, and they talked about how good it made them feel and how they could forget about things and not be a bitch during the day when they were usually so wound up and stressed, and how it helped them with their art and things like that. And I was like, yeah, I miss that freeing feeling that you could just let your mind slip into whatever and it just flows and doesn't really get hung up on things too much. I do miss that feeling a lot. I miss the feeling of, like, it was like having a drink, but 10 times better, because you don't get sick unless you smoke way too much. You don't get sick from it. There's well, I realize now there is like a hangover effect for me anyway when I smoke weed. But at the time I was like, yeah, you don't get sick and throw up if you do a lot of it at once. You can't really overdose on it, and you can just start fresh the next day and not feel adverse effects from it, which I think is wrong. I think now that you do feel some sort of side effect after smoking weed the next day, especially if you're a heavy chronic user like I was. Anyway, yeah. But recently I've noticed the last 3 months I felt an energy shift and motivation shift. Now, within these current 3 months, I feel like my mental acuity, or whatever, my sharpness, my memory recall is coming back. I think I still need to recover from that, but my memory was terribly affected by smoking. It was it was trashed. I think I've forgotten a lot of my life, which sounds terrible. I don't know if that's because of smoking weed or because of learning to let go of past traumas and memories that weren't pleasant. But I do notice that I don't really think about much of my past anymore, and I don't really remember much of my childhood at this point, where as before I started smoking weed, that's constantly something I would be thinking about. So I guess in that way it's a blessing and a curse. But yeah. One thing that I didn't feel through smoking was a spiritual connection, which is what some people have talked about. I think I'm gonna try to go on my own spiritual journey. I've talked about this briefly, but I want to feel more connected to the world in some way. I don't necessarily want to find a religion or a set philosophy created by man. I just want to find my own thing and my own beliefs without the aid of something like that. I don't think it's necessary to use drugs or anything to, unless it's part of your culture. You know, I'm not gonna discount people for doing ceremonial practices with drugs because, you know, that's a sacred tradition in their culture, so I'm not gonna say that's wrong, but I'm just saying I don't think I need that. I think I just need to find my own path. So, yeah. I'm sorry I've been coughing and clearing my throat a lot. I'm getting over being sick. I'm pretty much better, but I just don't feel 100% yet. Anyway, yeah, I feel a lot better now that I've stopped smoking. So, my review is 10 out of 10 for not smoking anymore. I think it served a place in my life a long time ago where it was the only resource I had realistically, and it was the only thing keeping me sane. Not actually, it was making me less sane, but it had helped me for some time. It did. I don't regret ever partaking. I don't regret doing it. I do regret the way I consumed it, which was through smoking mostly. I wish I did more edibles instead, because I mean, I haven't had my lungs checked, but I could have fucked them up pretty badly. In terms of lung capacity and stuff, I think I still have normal lung capacity, but I don't think it's healthy to inhale anything like that except pure air. So that's my belief. Anyway, this is just a long drawn out way of saying that I feel a lot better now. And yeah. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you've had a good April. It's almost the end of April, which is crazy. It's been 4 months into 2024. So, yeah. I say this every time I make a new video, but I do plan on coming back and making more content. It's gonna be like this, where I talk about my personal journey. I don't know, I probably shouldn't really explain myself in this video because I don't think it's the proper place to do it, but sorry. yeah, so I'm gonna leave it at that. I can't really think of anything else I want to talk about right now. Let me know how you feel in the comments. And again, I want to make it clear, if smoking weed is working for you and it's a net positive in your life, you're not hurting yourself or others by smoking it and procuring it for yourself and stuff like that. Like, if you're not doing anything irresponsible, if you're taking care of yourself, if it's helping you mentally, if it's helping pain management, if it's helping your hunger, whatever, I don't think you should stop. But if it's negatively affecting you like it has me, then you should probably consider at least taking a break and seeing how you feel. I know I'm never going to go back to it, even though I crave it. I'm not going to go back to it. I like being sober too much, honestly. Even though life fucking sucks. Especially right now, I would rather do it with a clear mind than, or experience everything with a clear mind than be psychotic. So anyway, thanks for listening. I'm sorry I rambled so much, but yeah, I hope you guys have a good day. I'll see you hopefully in a week. And yeah, that's that. Bye bye.